The Black Death. The plague that shaped medieval Europe. It was one of the deadliest pandemics in human history, sweeping across Europe, Asia, and North Africa in the mid-14th century and resulting in an estimated death toll of 75 to 200 million people. This catastrophic epidemic reshaped societies, economies, and cultures, and its influence on medicine, religion, and social structure can still be seen today. Origins and spread. Historians believe the Black Death originated in Asia, likely near China or Central Asia, in the early 1300s. It then traveled along the Silk Road, reaching Europe through trade routes. Genoese ships, arriving from the Black Sea port of Kaffa, now Feodosia, Ukraine, are often credited with bringing the plague to Europe, where it quickly spread to the Mediterranean and throughout Europe. The disease responsible for the Black Death is now believed to be caused by Yersinia pestis, a bacterium carried by fleas that infested black rats. In the crowded conditions of medieval cities, these rats easily spread the fleas to humans, sparking deadly outbreaks. The pandemic reached Europe in 1347 and ravaged the continent over the next several years. Between 1347 and 1351, it spread through Italy, France, England, the Holy Roman Empire, Scandinavia, and beyond. Symptoms and types of the plague. The Black Death was marked by a combination of 3 types of plague, each with different symptoms. Bubonic plague, the most common form, characterized by swollen and painful lymph nodes, buboes, in the groin, neck, or armpits. Symptoms included fever, chills, and vomiting. Pneumonic plague. Spread by respiratory droplets, this form of plague affected the lungs, causing symptoms like coughing, chest pain, and blood in saliva. This variant was especially deadly and transmissible. Septicemic plague. The rarest but deadliest form, septicemic plague caused the bloodstream to become infected, leading to bleeding under the skin and a darkening or blackening of the skin, which gave rise to the name Black Death. Victims of the Black Death typically died within days of the onset of symptoms, creating a rapid and horrifying mortality rate. Social and economic impact. The sheer scale of death had profound effects on the societies it struck. Roughly 30 to 60% of Europe's population perished, resulting in acute labor shortages and a subsequent economic shift. With fewer people to work the land, wages for laborers rose as they became a valuable resource, weakening the feudal system and leading to a rise in social mobility for some. Many survivors inherited wealth and property from family members lost to the plague, resulting in economic redistribution. Peasant revolts became more common as laborers began to challenge feudal obligations, and some historians consider the Black Death a catalyst for the later development of a more market-based economy in Europe. Religious and cultural repercussions. The pandemic also left a deep cultural and religious impact. The mass deaths led people to question established religious beliefs and practices. Some saw the plague as divine punishment and turned to religious fervor, while others expressed skepticism toward the Church, which was unable to provide a solution to the calamity. The sight of clergy members succumbing to the plague led some to doubt the power of the Church, which lost significant authority as a result. Religious groups such as the Flagellants arose, traveling from town to town whipping themselves in penance to atone for the supposed sins that had brought about the disease. In some areas, the desperation and confusion led to scapegoating of minorities, with Jewish communities across Europe suffering from persecution, violence, and even mass expulsions, accused of spreading the plague by poisoning wells. Art and literature reflected the changed outlook, often depicting death and despair with haunting realism. This period gave rise to the now famous motifs of skeletons and the dance of death, Danse Macabre, which symbolized the indiscriminate nature of mortality. Lasting effects on medicine and public health. The Black Death reshaped medical knowledge and practices. Faced with an unprecedented crisis, medieval doctors and scholars scrambled to understand and combat the disease, though with limited success. Lacking knowledge of germ theory, medical practitioners experimented with a wide array of treatments, including bloodletting, herbal remedies, and quarantine measures. The Black Death underscored the need for better public health infrastructure, and in response, some Italian cities established early versions of quarantine laws to protect the population from the spread of disease. Although it would be centuries before effective treatments and vaccines emerged, the Black Death began a slow shift toward more organized public health practices. By the 17th century, more formal quarantine stations, known as lazarettos, were established, and public health officials began keeping records of outbreaks. Conclusion: the legacy of the Black Death. The Black Death left a lasting legacy on Europe and beyond. It shifted the trajectory of history, contributing to the decline of feudalism, altering the economy, challenging the authority of the Church, and inspiring changes in art and literature. This pandemic also helped shape the foundations of modern public health and demonstrated the importance of understanding and combating infectious disease. Today, the Black Death remains a powerful reminder of the impact that pandemics can have on humanity, and it continues to be studied by historians, scientists, and scholars as one of the most transformative events in history.